Hey, what up fight fans? Welcome back to my channel, and on today's video I will be giving my breakdown and prediction on the battle between Tracy Cortez and Wong Tong that will be happening later. So let's get started. UFC 329 is finally here, and while the main card has everyone talking, a real tactical chess match of the night goes down on the preliminary card. We are looking at a pivotal women's flyweight matchup between the number 8 ranked veteran Tracy Cortez and the fast rising number 12 ranked striking phenomenon out of China, Wang Song. On paper, this is a classic striker versus grappler matchup, but when you look at where both women currently stand in their respective careers, the psychological stakes of this fight are completely off the charts. Let's look at the career trajectories first, because the pressure is far from equal tonight. Tracy Cortez steps in the octagon at 32 years old with a professional record of 12 wins and 3 losses. While she is firmly in her athletic prime, her back is officially against the wall, having dropped 2 of her last 3 fights, including a decision loss to Rose Namajunas and a submission defeat to Erin Blanchfield. Cortez is on a dangerous trajectory of her career. In the flyweight division, the window to mount a title run closes rapidly. A loss tonight would be a career-altering defeat, likely relegating Cortez to a gatekeeper role for the foreseeable future. A victory, however, completely erases her recent setbacks and fast-tracks her right back into the top-tier conversation. Cong, on the other hand, steps in with a 9-1 record at 34 years old. Despite being slightly older, her UFC career is in its infancy and fueled by an astronomical amount of hype. Because she is a surging prospect, fighting a well-established top 10 veteran, a loss for Wang really isn't a disaster. It would simply be a temporary hurdle and a valuable learning experience. She is fighting with the freedom of someone on the ascent, while Cortez is fighting with absolute desperation. Now, onto the structural breakdown and the blueprint. To understand how these styles clash, we have to look at the numbers and a very specific recent fight. Wang Song is an elite kickboxing specialist who averages a staggering 6.22 significant strikes landed per minute, compared to Cortez's more modest 3.86. However, many analysts are pointing to Wang's battle against Eduardo Mora as the blueprint for tonight. In that fight, Mora was able to drag Wang Kong to the canvas 3 times out of 12 attempts, racking up over 8 minutes of control time. Now, Mora is a high-level Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist, and many argue that she is a more dangerous submission threat than Cortez, because Cortez isn't a predatory submission hunter. Wang Song won't have to worry or panic about getting choked out the second her back hits the mat. But that is a major psychological trap. While Mora is the slicker jiu-jitsu practitioner, Tracy Cortez is the far superior, more relentless trained wrestler. Cortez has the cardio and the clean wrestling entries that Mora lacked. If Wang underestimates the grappling of Cortez just because there isn't an immediate submission threat. She risks getting completely blanketed and dominated positionally, or possibly submitted in a course of 15 straight minutes. Now, onto their keys of victory. Wang Cong's. So, what are the keys of victory for the striking specialist? For Wang Song to win, she must display elite kickboxing discipline. First, she needs to heavily invest in early calf and body kicks. Hard leg kicks destroy the explosive, springy power that Cortez needs to utilize for her takedowns, while body kicks will force Cortez to lower her elbows to protect her ribs. Second, Wang must weaponize her stiff lead jab and lateral footwork by circling away from the fence and keeping a moving target. She can deny Cortez and stop Cortez from cutting off the cage. Finally, Wang must be patient and rely on constant feints. Throwing heavy, unset up punches will allow Cortez to easily dominate or shoot him for a level change. That's what I meant to say. It would open the door for Cortez to shoot him for a level change. Anyways, feints will scramble Cortez's radar and force her to hesitate. If Cortez exposes her chin, a technical flaw that Rose Namajunas beautifully exploited, Wang needs to utilize her footwork to pull back and fire a precise counter hook right down the pipe. Now, onto the keys of victory for Tracy Cortez. For Tracy Cortez, the path to victory requires an immense discipline and a tactical adjustment. Her biggest flaw is her posture. She tends to leave her chin high on the center when exchanging punches. Tonight, she cannot afford to be drawn into extended kickboxing battles. She must strike in very short, quick bursts just to freeze Wang in place. Instead of jogging directly after Wang, Cortez needs to diagonally cut off the octagon, trapping the kickboxer against the fence. When Wang feels the pressure of the cage and throws a heavy shot to punch her way out, that is Cortez's cue to duck under the strike and blast through for the takedown. Once she gets top position, Cortez needs to add a missing layer of violence to her game: elbows. Historically, Cortez squeaks out close decisions by simply holding control. In order to win decisively tonight, she must rain down heavy elbows and do damage from the guard or from any top position in general. Cutting Wang open and causing visible damage will force the judges to give her undeniable round points, preventing a close script on the scorecards. Now, my official prediction. When you piece together this entire puzzle, it shapes up to be an incredible, grueling battle. Wang Tong's elite kickboxing and early body investment will likely give her a highly successful first round, or potentially a successful early second round by possibly hurting Cortez on the feet. One or two of the judges are bound to favor that striking damage, but as the fight goes on into the deeper waters, Cortez's veteran patience and deep wrestling pedigree and experience should take over. She will likely successfully cut off the cage, time her level changes, and utilize her top control and elbows and ground and pound to sap Wang's gas tank and inflict damage and control the rounds to secure a decision victory. Cortez has a history of letting opponents have success against her, but she does manage to end up grinding her way to a decision victory. And against an elite striker like Wang Song, she does need to be able to effectively close the distance and take minimal damage on the feet. And another thing to point out, I'm not sure if I mentioned this previously, but other than Rose Namajunas, Tracy Cortez has not really faced any high-level strikers within her MMA run, or at least in the UFC that I know of. Jasmine Jesuda Vicious is a grappler. Erin Blanchfield is a grappler. Viviane Araujo is a grappler. Who else? Justin Kish, I believe, is a grappler. Melissa Gatto is a grappler. So Tracy Cortez is up against danger tonight. She has a beautiful striking test against Wang Song, and if she's not careful, or if she doesn't utilize her fight IQ, she is in danger tonight when she faces Wang Song. So that's all I have for today's video. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.